This is my Cookery Zone podcast, a podcast brought to you by my Cookery Zone platform, also known as the connoisseur in food reporting. The rise and fall of food prices continue to be a huge concern to buyers and sellers. As food prices keep skyrocketing, consumers of food products can't remember the last time food prices were stable and when the quality and quantity of the food items purchased can be juxtaposed to the amounts being paid. Hello, I'm Iyanoluwa Fagbie and welcome to my Cookery Zone podcast, a food podcast that focuses on food reportage and discussion with food-oriented people. I hope you've been well since the last time we spoke, and many thanks for the love you've been showing us on our very last episode. We love it, and we hope you extend the same gesture to other episodes. In this episode, we'll be looking into the incessant rise and fall of food prices, focusing on Nigeria. In this discourse, three people are of interest: the buyers, sellers, and analyst or regulatory body. That's the voice of Samuel Oyekanmi, a research analyst at Naira Metrics. You'll be hearing more from him later on the episode. First, we took the conversation to the streets. In this market report, I got the opinions of buyers and sellers at a market in the southwestern part of Nigeria. I'm in the city of Ibadan, southwest Nigeria, currently in the famous Bodija market to get insight from buyers and sellers on the incessant rise in food prices.
The food stuff is costly. If you buy today, if you go tomorrow to buy another one, it will put money, and our government did not want to do anything. Even the money to buy and sell now is very hard. Sometimes you will say you can't see your money complete as you bought it. So it's not good at all. Even the money to sell it quickly, you can't sell it. Only small. The market where you for sell for 3 or 2 weeks, if you stay more than 2 months, you will never sell it. It's not good.
As a seller, do you make more profits when food prices are increased?
No. Sometimes the money no dey complete as you buy it. Sometimes you cannot see that your own money. Sometimes your own money where you take buy and cannot complete because go come motor everything before you say your money will reduce.
What impact has the rise in food prices had on your business?
Like palm oil, where they buy like 8,000 before, now it's 25,000. So per cake 25 liter, 25,000 for Igbo oil. So before you sell them now, it's very hard to see your money back. Talk less of gain.
As traders, we have been feeling the pain because sales have been very low. Things have become extremely expensive and buyers are complaining because they can't buy what they normally buy for 10 naira, but now 15 naira. It just results into them buying what they don't want and spending beyond their budget. It has become difficult for us to restock our shops since sales have not been encouraging. No gain at all. We have been consuming the capital. Things have been so difficult to even make ends meet. We plead with the government to help us see that the prices of foodstuff and other essential commodities come down for the masses to buy.
How do you feel about the current state of food price?
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about the current state of food price because it's really affecting people. Really affecting. People cannot avoid of buying something worth of 2,000. If you buy something worth of 2,000, you can't can't eat it in the morning, talk less of afternoon. Family of 5. One Congo of beans is 1.5. One Congo of rice is 1,900. So if you have 2,000, how can you manage? It's affecting people negatively.
With the current rate of food prices, how has this impacted your business?
No, negatively. No money, and everything is very, very cost. Very, very cost. And everywhere is very, very hard. We are not popping money into Nigeria system, so there's nothing we can do. And each day, price is rising. There's nothing you can do with this place, so there's nothing we can do. Just for us to be praying to God and our leader. They should know what to do.
How has the impact been as a buyer on the rise and fall of these food prices?
Impact? Everything has risen at 200%. So that's the impact for everybody, low class, high class.
How do you feel about the current state of food prices?
As long as I have money to buy, I buy because I can't eat my money. That's it.
Is the government doing enough to regulate food prices?
They have not regulated anything. So when you say enough, it means they have started, but they have not started.
At this point, it's worth putting things into perspective. The spike in food prices can be traced back to the year 2001, when food prices spiked exponentially, reaching as high as 39.53% in September of the said year. The SBM Jollof Index Report 2021 reports that the prices of both local and foreign rice spiked in Abuja, Anambra, Calabar and Lagos State respectively. The report stated that the average cost of making a pot of jollof rice in Nigeria rose by 7.8% between March 2020 and March 2021. SBM Jollof Index made it known that Nigerians are being forced to spend more on essential food items. In April 2020, Statista made it known that Nigeria recorded one of the highest inflation rates in the world at 12.9%. In April 2021, Naira Metrics published a report on the cost of preparing jollof rice in Nigeria, citing the SBM Jollof Index reports of the first quarter of 2021. The rise of food prices is said to have been caused by the prolonged border closure, the coronavirus pandemic, and the restriction of forex for the importation of food items. Even with these issues, the inflation is largely due to the falling oil prices. The SBM Jollof Index reports also identified the effects of the EndSARS protest, a movement that called for the reform of the Nigerian police force to put an end to police brutality and bad governance. This resulted in a standstill in the main economic states in Nigeria, that is Lagos and Abuja, in October 2020. To put this into more perspective, Samuel Oyekanmi, a research analyst from Naira Metrics, joins me via telephone to discuss the incessant rise and fall of food prices. What is the main factor as to why food prices are increased or reduced?
The problem of food prices in Nigeria are quite extensive. So it's like we are falling from one problem to another in the past few years. In the first place, what happened is Nigeria was trying to diversify the economy. They want to be able to improve our agricultural sector that has been abandoned since the discovery of crude oil in the 70s. So the federal government declared that the land borders should be closed so as to discourage importation of most of these food items so that we can be able to improve local production. So that was the idea, but unfortunately that triggered a significant increase in the price of food items in Nigeria, and hence from that period food inflation started on its upward trajectory where it's still at right now. So after that again we had the issue of COVID-19 in the whole of 2020. So immediately COVID hit, and there was a perception of people perceived that there would be a lockdown towards the end of March going to April. Prices of goods also went up significantly again. And I think the problem about Nigeria is that when things go up, they tend not to come down anymore in most cases. So this actually caused the upward trend again in the price of goods and services, most especially food items in Nigeria. And then immediately after that, when the lockdown was beginning to trickle down, EndSARS protest started again when there was disruption of food businesses around Lagos in the west and the likes. The EndSARS protest and the hoodlums, the strength, some set of things affected some northerners who were even bringing in some food items to the south, to the west, and to the eastern part of the country. This also caused another streak of increase in the goods, in price of goods. I could remember there was a time in November, onion sellers decided not to bring in onions anymore to the south, and even the bag of onions sold as high as 100,000 during that period. Well, that also has contributed to the problem of food prices, insecurity, banditry, and the likes, even our exchange rate. All these form together to cause a lot of havoc to food prices in Nigeria.
Who controls food prices? Is it the sellers, producers, or the regulatory body?
Ideally, price of food items is supposed to be controlled with the theory of demand and supply. But I guess in a problem in a situation like Nigeria, the sellers, or in most cases now, the sellers contribute mostly to the changes in the prices of food items. It's not entirely their fault, because we have structural problems in this country. You'll be surprised that most of these food items are not originally expensive from where they are coming from, but when they now factor into their prices, the cost of transportation, the fact that they have to pay some law enforcement at some point or the other, storage fees and the likes, all these pile up, and then you find out that the price of that item begins to skyrocket. So in a situation like Nigeria, buyers really do not have power at all in the price, but sellers to an extent based on some other factors that contribute to price changes.
Okay, Samuel, can we say Nigeria is financially secure?
Of course not. Of course not. A country that has over $33 billion debt stock, and is still counting, that spends about over 50% of its in fact, about 70% of its yearly budget on recurrent and debt servicing, and there is no significant infrastructural plans in the country. Of course, we are not financially secure. We are actually right now we are in red zone. For the record, we are really in the red zone, because our external reserve is dipping day in, day out. Our naira is dipping against the US dollar. Our imports are surging against our export. Our agricultural export is nothing to write home about compared to our import. And yes, despite the fact that government is even pushing a lot of money into this sector, unfortunately, we are still importing more food items in the countries. And what that importation is doing to our exchange rate and our foreign reserve is quite terrible, because in the long run, it's just nothing to write home about. Our external reserves are already walking towards a $34 billion threshold.
Samuel has already established the fact that the theory of demand and supply is used mainly to determine food prices, but Because of the current circumstances, that isn't effective or feasible, as more power lies in the hand of sellers who determine how much these food items cost. However, when asked if there are dangers should the incessant rise and fall of food prices continue, Samuel had this to say.
Oh yes, it does actually, because unfortunately we do not have we don't have it in form of a sinusoidal wave or something that goes up or comes down for clearer understanding. So unfortunately it tends to just traject upward. For example, a bag of melon used to be sold for around 100,000 earlier last year. Earlier this year was sold around 120,000. Right now it is sold for around 150,000. And unfortunately we don't go back. If it had been a situation whereby it goes up and it returns back to where it was, it would have been nice. But no, even when it's going to go down, it would have been an accumulated increase somewhere. It won't go back to its original position and even less. And what that means is that it erodes the value of our money. If for instance I have 50,000 naira saved somewhere in my account, and I decide to withdraw it next month to buy some stuff, what my 50,000 naira would have been able to buy by December last year, I won't be able to buy it anymore now. It means that my money has lost its value, and especially in a country whereby you don't really have other investment opportunities where you can make double figure interest rate or returns on investment. The stock market is not really doing well. Mutual fund is not really at its best right now. Cryptocurrency has been in one way banned, and even not banned, the Bitcoin and the popular ones are really on the downside in recent times. So people don't really have different portfolios or investment buckets where they can actually make more money to actually overturn this inflationary pressure. So of course it is a really downside for us, because your money is losing value. However you look at it, what your money can buy last year, you will not be able to buy them this year. And there are a lot of examples, a lot of things that you just would imagine. Flour used to be sold around 7,000, 8,000 naira sometimes already last year, and now it's already in the area of 16,000 naira. Granite oil used to be sold around 14,000, 13,500, and right now it's sold for 21,000 naira. And a host of many other food items, palm oil, pepper is even selling around 21,000. Pepper that sells for maybe 7,000 naira for a big bag. Tomatoes for the round shape is already selling almost 20,000 naira, and used to sell for 3,500 on a very good day. So you can imagine how that has affected a whole lot of pockets, because you are not making more money, but of course you're spending more money, and then it is a brunt on all consumers.
There's a need to call our attention back to Samuel's very first statement at the beginning of our conversation, where he said the issues with food prices are quite extensive. Well, the level of its extensivity is quite glaring to every Nigerian faced with the present reality of food inflation. We can only hope the government finds a more lasting solution to the inflation currently being experienced, and our food channels become more relevant for even a more sustainable future for every Nigerian. I hope this episode has indeed shed more light and give you more insight into the incessant rise of food prices in the Nigerian economy. We definitely would like to hear from you on how the inflation of food prices has affected you, either as a buyer or seller. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and rate anywhere you listen to the podcast. Many thanks to Samuel Oyekanmi from Naira Metrics. Thanks to the team at my Cookery Zone for their support as always, and Nelly Chris Omeono for her help in the market reports. Iyanoluwa Komolafe, also known as Boss Lady Cookies, did the market voiceover. Dr. Dohati Kolawole Fagbiye did the transcription for this episode. I am Iyanoluwa Fagbiye Temitope. See you on the next episode. Cookery Zone podcast is brought to you by my Cookery Zone platform. Thank you for listening.